So you should be seeing this now, I would hope.
Yep.
So what I did here is read and understand, da, 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 da. Yeah, okay, that's the same chapter as we had. Here is an example of the have next or has next. So on this one, all you'd have to do really is just download it. So I just say save link to, it comes up. And if I save it to, let's save it to my desktop here and just hit save. And if I go over to the desktop, it should be here some friggin' where, let's see, there it is. And unzip it. Then I can go over to NetBeans, open up NetBeans. And if I go here to my desktop, and then what has next, there we go. And there it is, it's just a short little program. Okay. So if I run it, it says, please enter a positive integer. And if I don't, let's say type the letter A, it says that's not a positive integer. If I type in 8.9, that's not a positive integer, etc. I wonder if it'll, let's see if I caught this. Oh, no, that one says -9. It won't take that either. Okay, so if I do type in a positive integer, then it says thanks. Then it says enter a floating point integer or number. Again, if I do the A, if I do a minus sign, anything but a, I can type in a 1 though, I think. Yep. And it just changes it to 1.0. Then it says, please enter true or false. And I'll type an F. And it says, that's not Boolean. Type in a 1. It says, that's not Boolean. But if I type in true, we move on. Then it just says, do you want to try the examples again? If I say yes, of course, we go back in. If I say no, it quits. So again, here we have the format of the has next int right here. So we have a prompt out here. Then the user types something in. If it's an integer, this is a while loop. It'll just skip right over the top of that and put the integer into this variable called number. Okay. If it isn't an integer, it goes in this loop and just keeps beating them up until it is an integer, where again it's solved here. Now I put that in, I nested that while inside a do loop that says if the number is less than 0 or equal to 0, that it keeps running. So you can't put in an, that's an example of how you would stop it from taking a negative number, okay, or a 0. And the rest are pretty much the same. So I didn't put them in do loops to limit what they are. And this Boolean one probably could have been a little bit more user-friendly, in that what we could have done is limit it to, if they put in a T or an F, it would also work. Okay. So we could do that. Of course, all we're catching here really is the Y. If it says Y and N here, and you could do that to them, but what I normally do is just You know, you could get rid of the Y and just any other key. That way they can type anything. It isn't just the Y is the only one that would, or any word that begins with Y would keep the program running. So there's an example of that in there for you right here. So now your program's if I type in a letter for your numbers, I shouldn't have to worry about them crashing anymore. So you can almost guarantee that, like when you do this first program here, you're going to be typing in what is the interest rate. You're going to be typing in what is the monthly deposit. And the other one is how many months. So you got two doubles and an integer probably. Okay. So the first one you would check to see if it's a double. The second one you would check to see if it's a double. The third one you'd check to see if it's an integer. Okay. So you'd have has next, 3 different has next for the same, for these to check for whether or not it was a valid input or not. And then I gave you an actual calculation. If your program's running right and you do $100 a month for 12 months at 10% interest, at the end of 12 months, you should have $1,267.03. If you don't, something's wrong. Okay. The second program is the ISBN. In other words, if you flip your book over or look at any book, on the back, there's a 13-digit number, at least if it's been published in the last, because it used to be a 10, I think, ISB 10, yeah. Now it's a 13. And the last digit, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the first 12 digits and determine a number from it that will generate the last number, okay? And there's a method to do that. I spell it out here, but it's also spelled out in your book, okay? And that number will be anywhere from 0 to 9. And eventually it gets tacked on the end of the ISBN 12 and makes it ISBN 13. Okay, and it's a check digit, okay? That checks to make sure that that number, in fact, or checksum, I should say, that makes sure that the ISBN number of your book is valid. Okay. I gave you a hint here. If you take your book and when you get your program done and you think you did it correctly, but you're not getting the last digit right, chances are you've got the odds where the evens go and the evens where the odds go. So if you switch them, then a lot of times your program will work correctly. Any questions about those two? Cool. Today in class, or for the next hour of that, I thought what we'd do, I'd teach you how to gamble. I had a kid in my summer class one time that was just like in high school. And his parents loved me because I taught him how to play poker and how to play craps over the summer writing programs. So they just loved me to death. If you've never played craps, I gave you a little link to it. It's 2 minutes long. Ours is a simplified form, okay? Basically, this is what happens. You roll 2 dice. If you throw a 7 or 11 on the first roll, you win. Okay, game over. If you roll a 2, a 3, or a 12, you lose. Okay, game over. If you roll a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, that becomes your point. And the game keeps going until you either roll that number again, the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, or you roll a 7, in which case you lose. So if you roll a 7 the first time, you win. You throw a 7 after that, you lose. Okay. Again, once you have your point, the 2, 3, 12 don't come into play at all. So you don't have to worry about those. So that's how it is simplified, okay? So you have to have where you roll the first time, assess that. Is it a 7, 11, 2, 3, or 12? If it is, the game's over. Either you win or you lose, depending on which one of those you get. And then the second part of the game is if you don't run one of those right away, the game has to keep going until you roll a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, or a 7 again, in which case either you win or lose. You win if you don't roll a 7 and the game ends. So the reason, again, that 7 becomes a big player in this, anybody know why? Why do you think 7 is the biggest player in this?
You're most likely to roll a 7 when you roll
Exactly.
2 dice.
It has the most odds. It has the most combinations there are when you roll the dice. Unlike the 2 and the 12, there's only one combination that you get 2 with, and there's only one combination you get 12 with. Okay. So I thought that's what we do today. We'll simplify it from what you'd play at the casino, because at the casino you can play, okay, he's going to roll an even or an odd number. You can play, it's called a pass line, and there's all other kinds of rules. But in our case, you either win or lose. There's no other things like that. Any other questions or any questions? Everybody asleep. Nobody's asleep. Anybody there?
I'm here.
All right.
Hello.
Oops. So let's go to a new program. As always, we got Ant going, and you save it to wherever you want. And I'm going to call this Acme Craps. If you don't like craps, you can put Acme Dice or something like that. And I don't know where they got craps from myself. But so here we are, like always. First thing we do, or project, I guess it is what they call it. And let's see what goes next. Oh, this is Acme Craps.java. And today's date is September 28th, 2020. Author is me or you or whoever we want it to be. And the purpose of this program is a simplify. All right, so it is going to pretty much play by itself once we get it built. I am going to need because it's going to ask me if I want to play again. So I guess I will need a scanner. And here we go again. It's going to bring up absolute connection or collection once it stops spinning around like a. Yeah, I know that. I don't know why it does that. It does it almost every time I type that in though. And then we're going to have, we do need to randomize. So if you're going to use my randomizer type and not the math one, you need to put this in.
Does that just come down to preference?
Yeah.
Or is there like an industry standard?
No, it's just a preference. As far as I know, young man, it's just a preference. This is just the way I learned, and I just use it because I like seeing that up there or something. I don't know. And then we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit before we. Coming up pretty quick. I think it's next week or that we'll start breaking this all down into modules. And so we won't have everything shoved in this main here. We'll divide it all up. Mostly for reusability and some other debugging and stuff like that. Okay, so now I can better create my scanner. Oh, I don't know. What should we make it? User in. It's always one of my favorites. Something like that. And we'll go ahead and make our random, whatever you want to call it, RDN, RDM. I don't know. Why do I make it RDN? That doesn't make sense. Probably should be random like that, right? It would be RND maybe. Yeah, that's what it could be. RND. Okay. It's equal to a new random. So we got that. And let's go ahead and do a char play again. Let's set it to yes for now. Remember, that is a char, so it goes in single quotes. And where should I set the point? I guess. Is it outside to do? Yeah, we'll decide later. So I got my do loop here. This is my outside one. This is the one that's going to keep my program running, right? So I'm just going to put a bunch of spaces here. And then down here, we'll just go ahead and say something like that. This thing always gets in my way. Try your luck again. Why to continue? And then we said it was user in. So play again is going to be equal to user in dot next to upper char at. Once you have this user index, it's so much easier to pick off characters than trying to do it in other ways. So let's go ahead, and so that'll be while. Play again is equal to a capital Y, because I converted them all to capital letters, right? If I made it all lowercase, why am I getting this incompatible type checking? Oh, missing the equal sign. I can make a small letter y if I'm converting everything to lowercase. So again, that's probably a matter of preference also. So now if I run this, just checking it, see, you get to come down to there. If I type the letter Y, it says try your luck again. I can type yak, still going. I can type a small letter Y, and if I type anything else, it quits the program, which makes it pretty user-friendly, okay? So that's that. Now I think what we'll do is let's go ahead and get our dice. So die 1 is going to be equal to, I want to indent that a little more like the other one. Something like that, yep. Die 1 will be rnd dot next int. And we're going to have 6 sides on our dice, but we need to add 1 because one of the sides is not 0. Oh, I better initialize that, huh? Int. There we go. And then same thing for die 2. There we go. And we can test those. And again, I'm trying to show you stuff, this is, I say, well, Doug, I know it's going to work, but you know what? You don't always know that. And when your programs get bigger and bigger, like I'm saying, if you break it down and do it a little bit at a time and then check whether or not it's working. So we get 6 plus 6 that time, okay? If I hit Y, 2 plus 4. I can just keep going, checking to see that I'm going to get 1s and then I'm going to get 6s in both instances. There was 2 1s, there's a 6, and I saw a previous 6. So once I know it's only rolling the numbers I want, okay, that's good. That is good that we're getting our 2 digits. Okay, and then, so let's run this out for a minute. So then if I say int total is equal to die 1 plus die 2, I can move this down here. And check. You got 2 plus 6 is 8, etc., 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 etc. All right, so we know that's working. And I'm going to run that out for now, just see what we got. So once I have this total here, I can either do a switch or an else if. You know, I kind of like the else or the if. So I'm going to try that. So if total is equal to 7 or 11, let's see, was that what I want to do? Let's go here. That'll be,
It would be all right because, I mean, if you put and.
yeah, that's right.
True, right?
Yep. We're going to put system dot out dot print line. Congrats. High roller. You win. And then else if total is equal to 3 or total is equal to what am I thinking here? Whoops, that should have been a 2. 2 snake eyes. Or 3. Or, whoops, what am I doing? Total equals 12. There you go. Or any message you want to give there. Then we got else. All those other options that we, again, if it isn't 2, 3, 7, 11, or 12, it's going to get down here. Okay. And so then we're going to say, and let's check this now to see that our program at least gets this far. Okay, so that would be a point. So that's why we didn't win or lose. That would be a point. We didn't win or lose. That one, go home before you lose all your money. Okay, so it's not showing what we lost on, so we need to put that out. So we need to do this here. Total plus. So we want to print that. Then put a space there. And here we want to do the same thing. Put a space there, put a space here. I think that'll work.
Plus sign.
All right, close that.
Input a plus sign on the second one.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Okay, let's see how that works now. Your point is 10. Try again. Okay. Oops. Put a Y on the end up here instead of typing it in the. Somebody were listening to you type. Point is 8. Point is 10. Point is 6. Man, I can't win or lose. 8. 8. There you go. 12. Go home before you lose all your money. Try again. Let's see if I can get a winner here. There you go. 7. Congrats, high lower. You win. All right. So we know we're getting our point. We know we win, et cetera, et cetera. So underneath this else, we're going to need I guess we need here, let's see, total foil and trouble. Let's go right here and put point is equal to total. Okay, is that going to change every time? No, it shouldn't. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Well, now we can change your point is point. There. And we're going to need to get these two things. We're going to copy this. Bring it down here and remove the ints in front of them so that they're right. Because we already declared them up above. And then this will be equal to something called, what do I call it, 0.2. Or not 0.2, what do I call it, total 2. Is equal to die 1 plus die 2. Okay, total 2, oh, it's got to be declared here. So here we could just do if total 2 is equal to point. could do like this right here. Control C that. Bring it down here, Control V here. And change this to total 2. Okay, so I've got to keep this going though. So I'm missing right here. We need a do. And then all this needs to move up into that. And we'll tab that over. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we can do that. We got a bunch of do's, don't we? And well, second roll is not equal to 7. So once you win, let's go ahead and set total 2 is equal to 7. And then else, so if I do that, and then else if total 2 is equal to 7. And then we need this to be, oh, I don't like that because total 2 is not declared.
Why did you, at the end of the initial if statement, put total 2 equals 7?
Here? Right here?
No, I like under the first if statement. You rolled
Oh,
a
to stop it, because once they roll this, they win. So I want to stop the loop down here. So that's just one way to stop it.
Gotcha.
Understand what I'm saying?
Didn't they want to continue playing though?
That's farther down.
Oh, I see.
That's just that one game you lose. But the problem right now is that total 2 needs to be declared outside the loop because this down here is outside the loop. So I need to move that up above this do. Like that. And then I can get rid of this here. And it should be good down here. So just move this declaration up here. And let's see if this thing runs now. Why didn't that keep going? You rolled a 9, your point is 6, you rolled a 9 till you roll a 6. Okay, something ain't right here. The point is 9, do. If it's this, loop. Don't know why that quit. Oh, I got another loop here. Hang on. That one goes with that one. Where does this one come up? That's not right. So this should be do. I need another while here. Do while. Okay, there's got to be another loop here. What does that go with? Oh, else. This needs to go another one here. Okay. Now where does this one go? Nowhere. Yeah, out there. And that's right. So it goes over here. So does this need to move up? We need to get rid of that. Okay, let's try it now. Still not going right. What happens if I put a Y there? Okay, so that works okay, but I still got a bad loop here. I need to figure out. So this comes here and does this, okay? Blah, 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 blah. And then, so it should loop back up there to here. Now, once they win or lose, that should go there. And there should be another loop here. That this one quits when? Let's see. What do I want it to? So if it gets to here, well, we can do this. Oh, not actually. There's got to be something here or here. See, that's going all the way down there, and that's not right. It should go right here.
The while at the bottom.
This is wrong. Huh?
Should that while at the bottom, instead of being equal
Not
to
be.
7, not equal to 7?
I think you're right. So if it's not equal to 7, it should be not, is that right? Not equal to 7. That loop is not equal to
If it were
7.
equal to 7, you wouldn't be playing, right?
That's right. So we want it to keep going when it's not equal to 7, right? I always mix myself up sometimes. Okay, so of course I roll a good. Oh, I won on an 8. There we go. Point is 6. You rolled an 8. Keep rolling until you roll a 6. Your point is 6. 7. You rolled 7. Big loser. Okay, so that looks like it's working. Let's try it again. Okay, so your point is 4. You rolled a 9. Keep rolling until you roll a 4. Your point is 4. You rolled a 6. Keep rolling until you roll a 4. Your point is 4. 4. You rolled your point. You win. Okay, it looks like it's working now. Oh, why didn't I hit something else here? All right, so let's fix that up a little bit though, because it's ugly. Your point is. Let's move this up so it doesn't print your point is after we're already putting your point is. So we're going to put that. Oops. There but now my point is in there. So we have to change this to total. So that's fixed. And then for some reason, this is kicking everything over in one of these. That one right there, for example. Okay. Let's try it again, see if it looks any better. Okay, your point is 9. 9, you rolled your point. Congrats. Okay, we're missing a space. Point is 4. There we go. Okay. Other than the space, I think it looks pretty good. So we're missing a space where,
On your if and your else if. Right before you. And
right here, yep.
yeah. And then the one above it, yep.
And right here, should be a space there, space there, space there. In fact, I'm going to put something like that.
And then you assign point to equal total.
Oops,
but then
hang on
you
a minute.
Okay.
Now, which one?
So at the top of your screen, you assign point to equal total, but then I don't see where you either change total or point. Like I don't see the necessarily, like you could just change all your references to point back to total and then get rid of that like why do you need to assign point equal to total and have point at all?
Probably don't. Point
Would it be good for like readability?
Yeah, but we could just, because we got total 2, we could just say total 2. I mean, that's because what it's called is point, I guess. You know, if you were playing the game, I guess. But I don't think it matters. I think you're right. And well, let's look how how you do that. Let's see here. We got total 2, total. Well, that's the only place, so you don't have to.
At the end of your else, you use point. And then
Yeah. But let's see if I do that and do that and just say, don't worry about it and just remove point everywhere.
also in your initial if statement.
Yeah. And just change this to total. Then I don't need this. And then I change this to total. Right? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Point is 8. You rolled your point. Congrats, high roller, you win. And, you know, we could output the, because we're not showing the die 1, die 2 at all. You know what I'm saying? In either case. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit. Something like that. And then here, we can just do this. See what that looks like. I like that better. I think it looks better. Well, there's a good one. So my point was 8. And I eventually lose way down here. I like the way that looks. You probably move this down in here. So that would divide the games. There's another good one. I got a 10 and I lost again though. Don't type up there.
I won on an initial roll of 6.
You did. You shouldn't have. You got something goofy then. Because I think ours is working okay.
Does it say your roll was 6, and then it has a 6, and then it says you rolled the number? Congratulations. Because the first one it sets as your first roll. So if your second roll was also a 6, then it would have just said you rolled a 6. Congratulations.
Yeah. It says your point is 6, and then I rolled another 6. Okay.
Yeah, so you
Yep.
won. So what do you guys think? How we doing? Who has one that isn't running that's having problems? Anybody? So I think it's pretty clean. You could have done the same thing using a switch. Okay. I don't know. I kind of like the way this looks though. All in all, I think it's probably a little less confusing than using a switch in this circumstance. In other words, I like that you can just string these out. You know, you got your 7 and 11 here. You got your 2, 3, and 12 here. You don't have to have, you know, case 7 or case 2, case 3, case 7, case 11, case 12, default. Yeah, I just think this is a better way to go. I like the improvements we did by adding the dice in, the little sayings that tell you, because you want to, I mean, there's not a lot of interaction here, right? All you're doing is hitting Y every time. So it's kind of cool to see what's happening. And it's kind of interesting to see how long a one you can get, like this one. Again, I'm trying to get 10 and I lost again. But to see how many times it'll roll, because you rolled the original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before you won or lost. That one ain't long enough. Gosh, I'm keep losing though. You're gonna losing again. Losing again. Don't go to the boat today, Doug. There you go. There's a winner. There's another loser. Loser. Come on, I want to make my point sometime. There you go. So 6 was my lucky. And then you're saying here, you could always do winner, winner, chicken dinner or something like that. Instead of congrats, high roller. Just switch that to winner, winner, chicken dinner or something. Or any type of goofy thing you could, what else could you do to it? Excuse me. All right, no questions. Let me just scroll through it once real slow so people that are looking at need to type it in the future. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And that's pretty much my song and dance for this week, you guys. Wednesday, we will drop in, see what I got for you. It just might be lab time because we want to, again, I've got you guys writing programs. So if you have any problems, I would try the programs by Wednesday, especially the ISBN one. And that way, if you have any problems, you can bring it to class with you. How's that sound? We'll have some time together. Hello?
Sounds good.
All right. Christiana, you like that idea?
Yep, it sounds good.
Okay. All right. Again, we're moving up on, this is week 7. So get your stuff in. I'm required at midterm if people haven't turned any work in or that, I got to turn your name into the administration. So you want to try and get stuff in if you owe me stuff. I mean, I'm not going to drop you if you're just like a lesson behind. But if you haven't turned anything in 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, I will. Okay, so I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Be good. Try and stay warm. I'm going to be putting down floor tile, or what do you call it? Laminate, vinyl planking is my next thing here. So